right, I went back. This is John.
Hey, it's Paul.
And it's Eric.
And it's What If Geeks. And today is January 20th. It is Martin Luther King Day.
Right.
So happy Martin Luther King Day. I had to work. I know some people didn't. I don't know. Everyone was confused as to who was working, who wasn't. But whatever. Yeah. I think it should be it should be a national holiday. So I guess it. I mean, it is okay. Everyone should take off.
Banks were closed. Post offices were closed. School was closed.
Well, I should have had the day off too. Whatever. Anyway. So today is the 20th, and we are going to jump into the Geekly Weekly. So first off, I guess we have Florida Man.
Do some Florida Man.
Let's do Florida Man. Paul.
All right. Am I starting with Florida Man? Here we go.
That would be the Paul.
For everybody who does not know what Florida Man is, if you've listened to us, I think you're familiar. Florida Man is the world's worst superhero. It seems as if we are the catch-all of crazy scumbags and toe suckers and people who commit domestic violence with food and all kinds of crazy stuff. All manages to end up here, and so we delight in finding crazy, funny Florida Man stories. I'll get started. Mine says, my headline: Florida Man attempts to hide underwater from cops.
Damn you, man!
Gets arrested after coming up for air. Police say.
Find another one.
I'll go next.
So this guy watched one too many TV cop shows and he was running from the police and attempted to jump into a lake and hide underwater, and then, hit the brakes, they'll pass right by, and then, they would just go by like, oh, we don't see him, and then he would come up from air and he'd get away.
Did he have a bamboo shoot a la Bugs Bunny?
He apparently missed that part of the action movie.
Yeah, he tried to hold his breath as long as he could, and the cops just waited. They watched him go in the lake. They waited, and then Daniel Christopher Booth ran out of air and came up, and they're like, all right, now you're arrested. Damn, I can't believe it didn't work.
All right, I got one. All right, so headline is, some quick thinking avoids possible mass destruction at a Florida Walmart. So in Tampa, bottom line is, this woman was roaming around the store's aisles and opening items she hadn't paid for. So security got suspicious. She was attempting to steal a bunch of items that she would use to make a firebomb that she was going to use to blow up that Walmart.
Wow.
And the first thing I thought of was like, not that we ever really get political on here, but isn't that kind of like, making somebody else pay for a wall? I was like, God damn.
I'm going to steal the very implements of your destruction.
So I was like, holy shit. Yeah, so there she goes. But, she's thrifty. So we'll give her that. I don't see her name on here anywhere. She's out of her mind. Eric, nothing?
Sure. We'll just wing it here.
I was like, I found 4 while I was grilling.
On headline alone, because I have no idea what this says, but Florida man accidentally shoots himself in the leg while playing Cowboy. 36-year-old Florida man arrested last weekend for possession of a firearm after telling deputies he sustained a gunshot while playing Cowboy. He's apparently a convicted felon, so he's not supposed to have a gun anyway, but that's, I guess, par for the course around here.
Yeah.
So he was detained on the 14th and transported to the detention center on a $10,000 bond. He was admitted to the hospital with a gunshot wound. That's where the deputies got called, and he went in there. He originally told them he was shot by an unknown person in a wooded area. But he had an entrance wound.
But does anyone really know themselves?
He had an entrance wound on the wound on the top of his leg, and then an exit wound out the bottom. So they were kind of like, "What the fuck? Did somebody sneak up and put the gun over your shoulder and shoot downwards?" So anyway, he admitted he lied, and then he said he was just playing Cowboy, and I guess spinning the gun around or something, and it accidentally discharged.
That'll happen.
I found another one. Florida man wearing hover skates rolled into Walmart, stole $551 of merchandise, and glided out, police say.
Yeah, still at large, too.
Yeah,
I read that one earlier.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah. Everybody must have just been like, what in the hell is that? Where's it go? Oh, crap.
Did that just happen? You see, if you're going to steal something, you got to make it so that people question what you're doing immediately. Yeah. And then you get away with it.
Yeah.
They question your sanity from the get-go, and then you're good. So yeah, on Eric's, I guess that's not like the only Cowboy to get his ass kicked this weekend. Huh?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him.
So, side note, we're jumping on the UFC, which we almost never do sports, but I guess we can jump onto the UFC 246 and then the upcoming Super Bowl real quick. But holy shit!
So I didn't watch the fight live. I read about it the next morning, and I watched a video of on ESPN's website. There was a video of like the last couple seconds of the fight, and I'd read the story that
The whole thing was a couple seconds. What was it? 40 seconds?
Yeah.
40 seconds.
And so
it's McGregor's second quickest knockout.
Yeah. So in the video, before the video plays, there's a commercial, and I'm like, I'm going to sit through a 25-second commercial to watch a 37-second fight of yeah. I'm doing this.
Sounds like most of the shit his wife complains about. But yeah, so I watched the whole thing, and holy shit! I mean, if it wasn't for the entire card, it would not. Yeah, okay. I love McGregor. Is our Irish guy. I like him. Right, he's my boy.
I like the swag. I like his whole
I do.
swag.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, he's just a cocky motherfucker.
Although he was much less cocky this time. Like,
yeah,
he was cool. Like, he hugged Cowboy's grandmother in the ring after the fight. Like,
and that's what I wanted to point out too. Was like he was very he was just happy to be back. Yeah. Yes, he came literally he came strutting down the aisle like he does. But it was taking nothing away from Cowboy. I know a little bit about him because I'm not really as into UFC as I used to be. I'm getting back into it again. I know he's a really good fighter, and it was one of those major fights.
Did you get ESPN Plus getting the Disney Plus package?
So I did, but guess what? Yeah, you still have to pay for it.
Really?
Yes.
It's still pay-per-view?
Yeah. Oh, you can watch the prelims.
Oh,
yeah, no, it's still pay-per-view.
Oh,
yeah. So yeah. Wow. Anyway, thanks Disney. So it was literally 40 seconds. I mean, they touch off, they kind of went at each other a little bit, and then they locked up next to each other, and McGregor hit him with 2 shoulder strikes, right? And again, for anyone who ever watches UFC, 9.99 times out of 10, a shoulder strike's going to kind of glance off somebody and just irritate him. He hit this dude with such perfection and force that he busted his fucking nose. Yeah. Right? I was like, holy shit! Even the guy's shoulder is just killing it. Yeah. Right? And then, as soon as he backed off, they kind of went at each other one more time, and then he sidekicked him in the head, and that was the end of the fight. Yeah. But yeah, and then like you said, he literally he dropped down to his knees and hugged Cowboy. Yep. And then he knew, ref called it, and he jumped down, he hugged him. And, Cowboy kind of nodded yeah, he fucking knocked my lights out. Yeah, that shit sucks. And then after the fight, after Rogan interviewed McGregor, then he went to interview Cowboy, and he saw his grandmother come over and hug him. And then it cut to McGregor hugging Cowboy's grandma, too, which was cool. It's something that you don't see a lot of fighters do. You hear a lot of people just, talking trash about how they talk shit to each other, whatever. So it was nice to see. Yeah. It was cool.
Not that we need a tangent before we get into an episode, but I always wondered how much of that animosity and shit talking and is manufactured, because it seems like it's ramped up over the years considerably.
Oh, sure.
And it makes me feel like it's a little bit like the WWF it was in the 90s, right? Where things just had to get escalated higher and higher every time.
And again, the guys who can talk on the mic and talk that shit are going to be the bigger draw. Yeah. McGregor is just perfect at it, and he happens to be one of the
he's talked his way into the Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah,
and that ramp up,
and
all
here's
those
the thing.
Press conferences, all that stuff, that was next level out of control.
Yeah,
so that people would buy that fight.
Crazy, the two of them, both of them going at each other were crazy.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, too, for that matter, because we never really talked about that fight. That was one thing that made me nervous about him coming back in, because he hadn't fought UFC since then, right? So he stopped and he trained in an art that he really didn't know, right? He went straight boxing against Mayweather, and he held his own.
Yep.
When you watch that fight, you're like, holy shit. I mean, the guy, he's legit. He's a legit badass. So I was proud of him. But yeah, so it just showed that he was a class act this last Saturday. I don't know about any other time. You know, you see other shit about him, but this Saturday he was a class act. He did good. So, and then there was something else I said I was going to tangent on, but I forgot. Oh well, too bad. It was UFC and something else I was going to say, and now I forgot.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah. All right, so yeah, now here we are, Kansas City and San Francisco, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I was kind of hurting for my wife's Packers. They just they got stomped.
They did get stomped.
Yeah, but 49ers have been like doing it this year.
It's their defense.
It was definitely not the same Packer 49er game that happened this Saturday when our kids played.
That's right.
Because our kids smoked the 49ers 18-0.
Did we play the 49ers? I thought we played the Seahawks.
Was it Seahawks? Actually, yeah, it was. Yeah, never mind. This week. Scratch that. Who we play the first week? I don't know. Yeah, all right. Yeah, well. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah, so Super Bowl. We're doing Super Bowl at Eric's house, apparently. The neighborhood was going to do a chili thing. His wife decided to, like, hey, let's do, one of our neighborhood events. And Becca was like, let's do a chili thing. So everyone was like, yeah. And then the whole neighborhood said, let's do it for the Super Bowl. And Eric said, yeah, we could have the whole fucking neighborhood at my house for the Super Bowl.
Come on, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see. People are really bad at, saying whether they're coming or not.
Yeah.
So Becca and I were saying, 30, 40 people, fine. If it's more than that,
no,
we need to do something
you gotta
else.
Cap it.
But it's like, how do I know at this point how many people are really coming?
Yeah. Well, up until last night, Heather and I were like, well, if it becomes a Packers Super Bowl, we may just tell you we'll host it here and just bring everything here. We'd have our house because it's, Heather. But even still, she was also like, well, Eric cooks good, so we can go over there too. Whatever. But yeah, so we'll be doing the Super Bowl over at his house. So if you haven't gotten your invite, I think I might have just invited you with me.
Yeah. You're welcome to come. We published the thing on the neighborhood page, but you're honorary.
Thank you.
You're here for everything else.
The funny part about this is that we just cut cable.
Nice.
So I
was about to.
I have HD antennas, so I can watch Fox at home. So I'm assuming it'll be fine. I've got two of them.
If not, we can
so
literally
I can do
come
the
all the
living
way over
room
here.
TV and the outside TV.
I won't cancel cable until after the Super Bowl. That way, if we have a problem at your house, we just pick everything up and run over here.
Fox has the rights this year, and I'm pretty sure they're going to stream it anyway. So if I get in a real pinch, I can always hook the computer up to TV. But I don't think I need to. I think that I'll just put the HD TV antennas on the two TVs downstairs, and it should be fine.
Yeah, but we're getting ready to cancel too. Talk to the West Orange guy.
We did it a long time ago.
You got West Orange?
No, we cut cable a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, we talked to the West Orange guy for internet.
Yeah.
And it was like $50. I was like, yeah, okay.
Right.
So we're gonna have him come out. And I'll be canceling cable. Oh wait,
I don't miss it yet.
No,
I have so many streaming, right? Yeah.
There's so much.
I have so much shit I have to watch. I'm just like, I might as well just give up on cable and just say fuck it.
Right.
All right, cool. So there we go. Speaking of what are you into? I guess we kind of covered that with the UFC and the whatever. But what else are we into? Anybody?
I finished that Dracula miniseries.
You liked it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah,
people bitched about it, but the first episode is like, it's a lot like the Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula movie, or I guess the book.
Sure.
But a lot of themes from that. But then the second one takes on like a whole different tone. It advances forward many years, we'll say. And it's more of like a Sherlock Holmes sort of feeling mystery whodunit, except whodunit. And then the last one fast forwards another 123 years to modern times.
Okay, cool.
So something happens in the second episode that sort of
fast forward,
puts him at bay for a little while, and then in the third one he's coming back, but it's modern times. It's actually
cool.
I like the way they did it. It's really interesting.
Nice. So I know Eric, we talked about it already, but Paul, have you watched You on Netflix?
No.
Really good show. Hang on, I'm trying to get my cord.
It's like about this crazy stalker
Thank you.
guy who likes to lock people in his basement, commits a little murder here and there.
It's really, but it's one of those kind of like, all right, like how Dexter had you kind of like following along with the kid, right?
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. It's like that where like you kind of identify with some of the parts of his personality.
Only John.
Well, yeah, sure.
No, unlike Dexter though, this guy isn't like doing something for good. He's just telling you he's doing it for the good of the person. When in reality, no.
There's no good in yeah.
But you gotta watch. Yeah, you gotta watch the show though, because it's very
All right.
like it picked up. Like Heather's even further along than I am, and I'm mad at her because we're in the second season and season 3 already got announced. She's a couple episodes ahead of me in season 2, so I'm only a couple episodes into season 2, but it's really good. And you finished it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good. This is one of those where you're like, holy shit. You know, it's like, and it is funny. Like there's a lot of, Heather and I have a joke now. We've nicknamed our cat Figaro Joe, because that's the guy's name, Joe.
Right.
And there's a lot of shots in this show of like, you know, because he's a stalker, is like he's kind of standing off in the corner and like you kind of just see him with a hat on, whatever. Right. And that's Figaro. Like, you'll walk down the hallway, and she'll be standing just off to the side of the thing, just looking at you like... And Heather's like, I'm going to Photoshop pictures of this fucking cat with a hat on, just like... So, Heather's taking the call on her Joe. Funny. It drives Noah crazy. It's like, her name's Figaro! All right, so anyway, yeah, that is what I'm into, is you, and then reading random comics online when I can.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of comics. I'm waiting for... I think it starts streaming Thursday is Picard.
January 23rd, whatever day that is.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, I've been rewatching TNG episodes, just kind of prepping myself for it. I'm almost finished. I didn't start at the beginning because I've watched season 1 probably, I don't know, far too many times. But I started at like season 6, so I'm almost through. I figured that was about the right amount of time I could finish a couple seasons before it started.
So tangent on Picard. On Patrick Stewart specifically, and this is only a vague tangent because I saw a headline while I was at work at lunch scrolling, and I was like, I gotta look at that later, and I haven't yet. But I saw one headline, and I'm hoping it's not from We Got This Covered, but it was apparently, you know, it said Professor X actor Patrick Stewart reveals that he was in heavy discussions with Kevin Feige on Professor X's role in the MCU. And I was like, oh, wow. If they bring him in, I'm like, yes, that'd be fucking perfect. Even more so than Hugh Jackman. I mean, because, you know, Jackman can only do the action shit so much, but Patrick Stewart could do Professor X for another 10 years. Yep. So I'm hoping they bring him in.
That was great casting. Like, as soon as that happened,
it was spot on. Holy shit, he made that whole role. So, I will look into it further, and then I'll jump on the website or something. We'll figure it out. Anything else? Anybody into anything else?
Nothing here.
Bueller? Nope. Okay, cool. All right, so, Eric.
Okay,
let's get into Geekly Weekly.
We will. Last week, I think we had talked about show and segment ideas.
Yeah.
Right? Was that last week? Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Me, you, and Ray talked about a whole bunch of brainstorming shit.
So one of the segment ideas I had was doing, like this day or this week in geek history. Mm-hmm. I thought I'd throw that in today. I got a few because there were some good ones that came up this week, and I'm like, oh, what better time to start it? So I got a few here. I was thinking this is going to be a relatively short Geekly Weekly because we only had like 6 topics, but then we got into UFC and Super Bowl. Who knows what that'll happen? But
you never know what's going to happen on this show.
Maybe we can cut it down to be reasonable, or maybe not. So January. This is the main reason I want to do it this week. Is this one right here, January 23rd, 1983. I guess that would be the end of this week, but it's this week anyway. A-Team pilot episode aired on NBC. The Mexican sleigh ride. So that show would of course go on to do 93 episodes, I think through 87 or something like that. But
in 93 episodes, no one ever actually got shot.
Yeah, I think there was one. There was no on-screen deaths ever, and there was like one implied death with that general, and there was an explosion. But most of the time, no matter what happened, despite the automatic machine guns and the fucking explosions, the guys would just get up 10 minutes later. Everything
like their car would flip over, and then you'd see them kind of get out.
Yep. Yeah, all the time. And then, see, in the 80s, what happens is if you... I guess that was the epitome of knocking sense into people. Mm-hmm. You would fight people with machine guns and explosions, and if you hit them hard enough, They just stopped what they were doing.
Mhm.
You knock some sense into them.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
So I was
And that was the yeah, you spiked my milk again.
Yeah.
Hannibal, I'm on a plane. Fucking B.A. Baracus. Goddamn, Mr. T. I love that motherfucker.
Yep.
That's going to bring up
That's
another
a
like
great
5 tangents.
Yeah,
So
I know.
let's keep on going.
Oh yeah. Keep going.
The mother song.
Yeah.
So not long after, what was this? A couple years ago, not long after the Pulse shooting, in the
I took a dark turn.
This is a Mr. T tangent. Not
Okay.
long after the Pulse shooting, there was right in front of the Dr. Phillips Center, there was like memorials and a bunch of other stuff set up. And our building, when I worked downtown, our building, from some windows, you could see down there. So one day I'm like, I just want to go down and I just want to sort of walk around all this stuff and just see what's going on. So walk down there, and Mr. T's out there.
What?
Mr. T. And he was almost unrecognizable because he went through cancer and he lost a lot of weight. And he's kind of skinny.
Yeah, he did get skinny for a while. Yeah,
And I think he's bulking back up. But at the time, this was a couple years ago, he was still sort of skinny, and he's walking around and he's wearing like American flag Zubaz pants and a bandana. That's the only reason I'm like, holy crap, it's Mr. T. I mean, you're like, who wears American flag Zubaz pants?
Yeah, it's Mr. T.
Yeah, it's Mr. T.
Or Hulk Hogan. So
Right,
it's one of the two. He was the darker of the two.
Yeah, and so he's just walking around and he's like kind of randomly hugging people. And so I went up and I hugged Mr. T, and I was like, holy cow!
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sorry that it took such a tragedy for me to meet Mr. T, but
It happens.
Yeah.
He's short too, huh?
that's my Mr. Yes, he's much shorter than I thought.
Yeah. A lot of those stars are. We had that conversation about Bruce Willis, remember?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's like 5'2". I was like,
He's not
really?
that short, is he?
Yes.
5'2"?
Yeah, I met him. Yeah. He's literally
Oh,
like this
wow.
big. He's tiny. I was like, no offense, Mr. Willis. Sorry. He's a great guy. Outside of maybe any kind of prima donna bullshit you hear on stage, whatever, or on sets, he loves the military.
Yeah.
I met him when I was in the military. He was getting ready to fly to the Truman to go film Tears of the Sun, and I was there getting ready to load the plane with supplies, and he came over and was talking to me and the guy I was working with, and he held up the whole flight just to talk to us. I was like, he's all right in my book. And but when he came walking over, I was just like, holy shit, he's short. So, the magic of Hollywood,
Yep.
all those fight scenes and shit that you see, those really, really, really really big guys
He's
don't have
standing
to
on
be
a
that
box.
big. Yeah. We can get on that tangent, too, with Tom Cruise. But anyway. But he's kind of short. A lot of them are short. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so a year later, January 24th, 1984, a year and a day, I guess, Apple released their first mass-marketed computer in the Macintosh, the first GUI interface system. I remember having those in school way back.
I had a GUI interface in my school days,
Yeah,
too.
I bet you did.
That's awesome.
Mind you, I got that one secondhand while I was sitting here saving a picture, too. So, fuck you. I was talented.
We had two cult classics released this week many years ago. 1990, Tremors came out in theaters January 19th. And that was actually originally...
I love Tremors. I'm sorry.
I like Tremors too.
Is
But
that
it wasn't...
Bacon? Is that the Kevin Bacon movie?
Yeah.
It
About
did
the
have
giant
Kevin
worms?
Bacon. Yeah.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah, those underground slug looking things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was originally supposed to release a year, well, not quite, but a little close to a year prior. But it got an R rating, and the studio did not want to put it in theaters with an R rating because R-rated movies make less money.
Yeah.
And so they waited and they cut some things and whatever, and got their PG-13, and then put it out in theaters January 19th. But it didn't even do well. It was way below predictions when it came out, but it would go on to be like a cult classic.
Well, people make fun of it.
Yeah.
It is, in cult classic status, people make fun of it all the time, but I like it a lot. It became a Michael Gross vehicle. Michael Gross from Family Ties
Yeah.
was the guy. What the hell's his name in the thing? Some like Herb or some shit like that. He's the gun nut. in the town, and he's gone on to star in almost every one of these damn things.
I think there's 5 of them now.
Yeah, one of them inexplicably goes back in time, and it shows you these tremor things. I forget what they're called, but they're back in like the Old West. And just so happens one of the guys in the town looks exactly like Michael Gross. So yeah, I think it's like his great grandfather or some shit like that.
January 19th, 1996, another cult classic, which actually did do well in the theaters also. But From Dusk Till Dawn, Quentin Tarantino wrote the screenplay for that.
I love that.
That's a
great movie.
It's an interesting movie because it's half of a really cool bank robbery movie.
Yeah.
That runs into the back half of a really cool vampire movie.
Yep. What year was it?
That was 96.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because that was my first marriage. Because I remember my ex-wife bringing it home and saying, "I know you like horror movies and vampire movies. Everyone says this is a good one. You should watch it." I'm like, "Sure." I turned it on and I got so far into it where I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
This is. I mean, it's a bank heist movie. It's good, and now I'm watching Salma Hayek dance on a stage. So yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, boom! It changed.
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy shit! This is the best thing ever."
It's like a bank heist movie that doesn't have an ending and a vampire movie that doesn't have a beginning.
Yeah, yeah. They just they meet in the middle somewhere.
It's like, excuse me. You remember in the 80s or something? There's the Reese's peanut butter commercials, like a kid walking around with a tub of peanut butter and a girl's walking around with a chocolate bar, and they bump into each other. It's like, "Hey, you got your peanut butter in my chocolate. Hey, you got your chocolate in my peanut butter." And then they try it, and it's awesome. That's what this is. "Hey, you got your bank robbery movie in my vampire movie. You got your vampire movie in my bank robbery movie. Let's just put it out. It's awesome."
Yeah. Best way to marry these is to just put Cheech in the middle.
Right.
Yelling random things about, well, we won't say, but all right. Last one I had on here was January 25th, 2006. Disney bought Pixar for $7.4 billion. And then they put Steve Jobs on the board of Disney and, oh man, I forget his name. The Pixar, John Lasseter became he became the director of animation at Disney, and I think he stayed there until he got accused of like years of sexual misconduct in the office, then I think he left in maybe 2018, 17, something like that. It couldn't have been that long ago.
Right? Yeah, not long after Harvey Weinstein.
Oops.
He got me too.
All right. So that's it. That's what I had for this week. I just wanted to give that a shot and see if it would generate conversation. But.
Yeah. A little bit. All good movies. Yeah, no, that's cool. Let's do that like every week. That'd be fun. Something. I know we had talked about doing something similar a while back, like a long time ago, and just kind of dropped it. As we do.
Much like us before Eric.
Let's do that. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
hey,
sure.
Remember that?
And then we go, let's do that. Eric goes to me like this.
Yeah.
And, okay, Eric's done it. Oh.
All right, so on to the real Geekly Weekly. Is it time for that now?
Yup.
All right, so first one is about this Kenobi show cancellation that was floating around.
Oh, God.
And I know we're, I don't know, 5 days late on it, but it would seem worth mentioning anyway because so many people believed it. But so it started with some parody Twitter account of discussing film, which is actually, if you pay attention to the spelling, it says dick sussing film. But I mean, if you look at the about on the Twitter account, says this is a parody account of discussing film, and they make up, fake headlines that are supposed to be joke or whatever. So they put out one saying that the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is canceled because of creative differences between Ewan McGregor and the director or some shit like that. And for some reason, I don't know. Uproxx picked it up, and then a Phantom Wire writer picked it up, and then from there it spread like wildfire into what we got this covered in CVR and everywhere else that
of course
you don't want to listen to, but then it spread around on social media, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, it's canceled." So luckily, Disney and McGregor's agents caught on to it pretty fast. It only took about 3 days for them to come out and say, "No, hold on, this is bullshit." It's not a real thing. So anyway, I just wanted to bring it up and say this is fake.
Yeah,
it's not canceled.
This is the new internet, right?
Yeah.
So it's a quote unquote parody account, which means they can just make up whatever shit they want to say.
Yeah.
And then all it takes now is for We Got This Covered or somebody else to say, story says or reports are that this thing's over because you and McGregor. So they're not even reporting it as true. They're reporting that there is a story that says...
That's exactly what they did. Correct. So we got this covers thing said, according to Fandom Wire. Right. And then you go read the Fandom Wire article, and it's by an author who's only written like one other article ever. Right. And then he just says, according to my sources. Well, what the... Like, come on. Yeah. I mean, it's like you can't debunk it, but you also can't believe this shit anymore because... And
we got this cover just says, no, we just reported that someone reported it. So they can't ever say, you're wrong. Well, okay, we reported that they report, so they're wrong.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of bullshit. Yeah. So, luckily, the problem with it is that it takes the actual studios, like... a week sometimes to come out with an actual message because they've got all this background bullshit of somebody else has to read what we're going to say and make sure that the statement's official and correct, and you got to be careful with your wording and blah blah blah, right? So these things can spread to
bullshit. Hell, even this little fly-by-night operation that we got going on here, we we at least try to do some research and then go, okay, yeah, this is bullshit. Yeah. But like I saw that that article, or I saw a headline about it being canceled, and like 30 seconds later I saw, because I get every update that you post on Facebook so I saw Eric bloop, and nope, this is fake. Nice.
It's just it would be a all week job to try to control that stuff though, really. I mean, like, you can make the comment, but even if thousands of people see it, there's another million that are following Star Wars fan. Yeah. Which is really owned by We Got This Covered. Yeah. Which is posting it on there. It's got 260,000 people.
So the bullshit is just going to run rampant no matter what you do. Yeah.
Don't trust what you hear. At least wait it out a little bit. Anyway, staying on Disney.
It's the internet. It's got to be true.
Yeah. The mouse is finally eating the fox. So Disney announced that they're going to remove the Fox name off of both the 20th Century Fox and the Fox Searchlight studio productions. So it's not known yet what they're going to change exactly. They are going to rename the two companies 20th Century Pictures and Searchlight Pictures, but the thing that's unknown is that iconic 20th Century Fox. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Like, are they going to change that logo? Are they going to switch the music? Is it going to disappear out of movies as they get reproduced?
All right, when they do the 20th Century with the Searchlights, right, and all that shit, the dun, 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 Fox is on there, right?
Yeah, it says 20th Century Fox.
So they'll probably just digitally remove the Fox and put something
pictures.
in there.
That's the name they're going to replace.
Yeah, they'll just put pictures on every one of them, because they specifically, when they started Disney Plus up, did you notice, if you watch the original Star Wars again, they brought back the fanfare and all that shit in the beginning. So there's reason to believe that they've got plans to keep most of that. Oh, and I'm good with that. Just dropping Fox, because you kill the confusion now that you've bought them. So you still have Fox News, and
this was inevitable anyway. Yeah, everything they buy and they decide to keep, they always integrate it in some form or fashion.
So to get rid of the Foxing is fine, and that's cool. Which just still gives me hope that maybe they'll continue to release more mature content under some of these labels,
right? Because the Searchlight is where they sort of make the art house films and some of that other stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And the 20th Century is where you get Deadpool.
Right. Yeah. All right. So according to Variety, Matrix 4 movie is now confirmed. Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss will both be reprising their roles as Neo and Trinity, respectively. And then Lana Wachowski is going to write and direct. And for those that are confused about who that is, the previous movies were credited to the Wachowski brothers.
Yes.
Because there were two brothers,
now they're sisters.
Larry and Andy. Both of them have since transitioned into being women.
I feel that I have a personal stake in a lot of that. Anyway. So not me personally.
Larry became Lana and Andy became Lily. So what that means is, despite the name difference, it's the same people writing and directing the movie. Yeah. So you can expect, hopefully, the same content, unless the transition has somehow changed them creatively.
Probably not. Yeah. So, but now on Keanu Reeves, on that topic, dude, this guy is on fire. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right, so you got the Wick series, right? So you got John Wick 4 has been greenlit. You've got this one, Matrix 4 is greenlit. You've got Bill and Ted coming out, right? The guy's just an overall awesome fucking guy. I heard somebody else say it, so I got to back this one. Prediction for like People or whatever it is, magazine's Sexiest Man Alive 2020 is going to be this dude.
Yeah.
It's got to be Keanu Reeves. I mean, I want him for president, but he ain't going to go. So, might as well be Sexiest Man Alive. He's going to win it.
Yeah, a lot of people have been campaigning for him to be Revan if they ever get back to an Old Republic Star Wars series, which is not a bad idea. But all right, what else do we have? NBC is joining the streaming wars. They are launching a new streaming service called Peacock. Yep. Mm-hmm. Unlike the other ones, there will actually be a free service available for Peacock. Free Peacock.
Free Peacock.
My Peacock is free too if they want it. John, what you watching? Peacock.
So the free version will be ad supported. So I'm assuming it'll be before and after ads and probably in the middle too. And it's only going to have about half as much content hours wise as the premium service. So the premium service will include twice as much programming. Like I said, it will also include live sports events. And it will be commercial free. The charge for that, if you're a Comcast customer, you can pay $5 extra for this, which I don't quite get because as a Comcast customer, you would have access to all the streaming titles from NBC anyway. Right. I don't know how they get away with that. But if you're not a Comcast or a Cox customer, $10 is the monthly fee that you charge. And so
you have to subscribe to Cox to get Peacock.
I was going there. Good, thank you.
So
I'm not the only degenerate here. Thanks.
I'm sure people are saying, "What the fuck is NBC going to offer us in a streaming service?" That's
I was about to say, "What the fuck does NBC got to say?"
$10 a month. So for anybody that doesn't remember, NBC is part of the Universal family now.
For anyone who doesn't have our handy dandy little set list in front of them, because
that means all the Universal franchise titles are going to be on here, from Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, the Jason Bourne series, Fast and Furious. E.T., Despicable Me, and Shrek, if you're into that stuff. So they're going to have a lot of things available on the
plus all the back episodes of Alf, Punky Brewster, Webster. No, Webster was an ABC show.
Yeah, there probably will be some of that, actually. Yeah. I mean, I forget what they said.
There's the A-Team.
There's something like 15. There's 15,000 hours of content on launch. Is what they're saying. And this is going to launch soon, by the way, because they don't have to do much. So July 15th.
Family Ties.
Wow. Nice.
They're also going to introduce a new concept, which may or may not work. I'm not sure. It's called virtual channels. So like within the streaming service, you can go to a channel that is like for a specific thing. Like they're going to have a kids channel that will only show kids shows, right? But it's real time. So you just pick it up wherever it's at and you watch it. There's going to be a family movie channel that runs 24/7 family movies. There's going to be a Law and Order channel that does only Law and Order and spinoffs 24/7.
Yeah, that's called TBS.
yeah, basically.
You're right, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so they're going to have all these virtual channels. It's a way to watch live TV sort of differently. I don't know. Might be something that draws people to it, though. 'Cause a lot of people like to watch live TV, even if it has background noise.
That would be Heather. Heather likes background noise when she's doing her crafting and shit. So
certainly beats whatever the hell's on TV during the day. Freaking Young and the Restless or Bold and Beautiful. I don't know, all the shit that's on. It's ridiculous.
Side note to Despicable Me, Minions 2, The Rise of Gru, June 3rd, 2020.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I know I'll be going to see with my kid.
Yeah, I know. My kids never got into the Minions stuff.
They're not bad.
My kids love the Minions.
My kid, Noah loves it, and they're not bad. Yeah. There are some times where you're like, okay, it's getting a little tired, but then they hit. Some of the jokes hit, and they hit hard, and you're like, wow, that was really good. Like the last one with the brother was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the Minions do. The first Minions movie was pretty good, but they've progressively made more and more money. So
yeah,
duh. It's like yes, of course you're gonna make another one. So yeah, I heard that today too. Not Despicable Me, but Minions 2: Rise of Gru. So apparently it's like when they first meet him.
All right. So if you're a Comcast customer, you can actually access the service early starting April 15th. So it's like 3 months ahead of everybody else.
Nice.
But if you cut the cable, John, you won't be able to enjoy all this wonderful content, including Punky Brewster.
Damn it. I don't know. Gotta check me out some Salemo Fry.
All right, so next one is just a heads up.
Now, not then. I don't know what she looks like now. But...
Next one is just a heads up. April will mark the 80th year since the first appearance of Joker in 1940.
Nice.
So DC is doing like a special collectible tribute comic for the Joker. It's going to be like 100 pages. It's all new stories, is my understanding. But they brought back a bunch of old artists and things to do all the. They have like I can't remember 13 different like alternate cover art.
Oh wow.
Options
Jesus,
for this. Yeah, so
wow.
they brought back like a bunch of people that have been involved in the Joker comic writing for decades. Brought them back to do to pin certain things and whatever, do artwork for it.
Sure.
So could be really cool. That'll be released on April 29th, and I think it's only going to be $10.
Oh, wow.
Even though it's a super cool collector tribute edition.
Oh, yeah, I'll be getting it.
Yeah, it's probably worth picking up.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. HBO confirms that they are not renewing the Watchmen series for season 2, and that's not because it didn't do well. It actually did well. But creator Damon Lindelof said that he's stepping away. He doesn't want to do that. He told the story he wanted to tell, basically, is what he said. And he wants to move on to another project. He said he gave HBO his blessing, not that they needed it because they got the creative rights ownership anyway, but he said he gave him the blessing that, they could go on and make more seasons. He had no issue with it. But Casey Bloys, who's the programming chief at HBO, came out afterwards and said, pretty much probably not happening because he said it'd be hard to imagine doing this without Lindelof involved. So if he's not going to come back and at least executive produce or something, we're not going to do it.
But
So,
it's respectable on both counts too.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
for him to, again, like you said, he doesn't have to say that because he really didn't have a place to say it. But creatively, for him to be like, they can do what they want, is cool. It shows that he's got no bad blood. And then they say, no, we don't want to do it without him. That's cool. I respect that. Now I really got to watch it.
Let's see. Live action Mulan reboot. So there was a new 30-second TV trailer dropped for Mulan. And once again, no music, no Mushu. We talked about this, I think, last week or maybe the week before. We were wondering if there was going to be any music.
I said I was dying to see Mushu. And I thought they were holding him off. And then you broke my heart. And
yeah. So
you broke my heart, Fredo.
so Nikki Caro came out. She says they are absolutely not putting sing-alongs in this. This is going to be a sort of war-esque martial arts movie.
They do pay homage to it because you can even hear it in the trailer. You hear
songs. Well, I think her official statement said that they're honoring the original songs in a special way, and I think what they're going to do is background musical score at the right moments.
I'm good with that,
but probably do it in a very in-your-face way where it's not, just barely there. I think it'll be much more to it. Might be during a training scene or something where it's like playing over and there's nobody talking. So who knows? And then she said that
in today's woke culture, I think "I'll Make a Man Out of You" is a completely different thing. Yeah. So okay.
She also said that they're doing something to I don't know, in the spirit of Mushu. But I don't know what that means.
Well, in the first trailer, I saw a phoenix flying, so it could be because basically Mushu is one of the guardians, but he got demoted because he was a fuck up in the cartoon. So his only job was to wake up the actual guardians, and he fucks that up too. So he winds up trying to help her, basically to redeem himself. So
somebody's gonna have a Mushu tattoo. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
You're gonna see one of the warriors full back piece tattoo.
It's gonna be Mushu. Yeah. Could be. Yeah, but I think maybe the phoenix representing her guardians or whatever, something. Because I saw it flying in the trailer, so something to the
dragon kite.
Yeah, something to the effect of there's going to be the ancestors that are, because even the father says, ancestors, please watch over her. And that's all out of the cartoon. So maybe, they're not going to do the comedy thing with Mushu, which is sad because ironically, Eddie Murphy's hit or miss with me. He's more hit than miss. I loved him in that role, and I was like, I was really hoping they would do something to play around with that with everything they've been doing. But all right, yeah, I'm cool. I still really, really want to see this movie. This is one of the ones that actually has like my attention, where I'm like, yeah, because we all know I'm kind of like, on their remakes, whether or not they're even necessary. But I want to see this one.
Yeah, I normally wouldn't care, but I personally love martial arts movies, and everything I keep seeing in these trailers is like, it's just a martial arts movie.
It's a very Crouching Tiger.
Yeah.
Hidden
Exactly.
Hidden Mushu.
Hidden Mushu. So I hope it's really cool. I know it's going to be under the Disney brand. It's for all intents and purposes a Disney princess. So I'm trying to imagine what combat scenes and things are going to be like in a movie like that. I mean, they could royally screw it up. Well, not screw it up, but make me not that interested in it by doing a bunch of off-screen sort of
death,
hinting towards battles happening and people getting killed, but you don't actually get to see anything.
Oh shit! I mean, in the actual
there's
cartoon,
definitely battles.
Like, she dropped a whole goddamn mountain on the Han Army in the cartoon. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
Depends
see.
on how dark
We'll see.
Disney wants to get nowadays.
We'll see soon too, because
More
it's
mature
in
mouse.
It's in theaters on March 27th, so we don't have too
before
long
my
to go.
birthday.
Just a couple months. All right, last one I had for this week. Screenwriter Chris Bremner. Oh, excuse my typos. Chris Bremner, who wrote the Bad Boys for Life script, he was confirmed to now be writing a fourth Bad Boys movie. This is going to go back to how the hell did this get made? That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. But
okay, well, if you're thinking, even remotely thinking about making a fourth one, how do you name the third one Bad Boys for Life and miss the Fast and Furious marketing of Bad Boys for Life? You fucking idiot. Sorry.
So there apparently he's writing another Bad Boys 4. That doesn't mean it'll go to theaters, but honestly, Bad Boys for Life is doing well in theaters, is doing well in the box office.
Yeah, a couple of my friends said it was good.
I haven't seen it yet, so
all I've heard was if you liked or appreciated the first two, you're gonna like this one a lot.
Yeah, sure.
If you had no interest in the other ones, just skip it.
Well, but certainly the two.
I want to watch it.
Great on-screen dynamic. I'm not denying that. The earlier movies are good. There's nothing wrong with them at all.
I want to watch it. I don't mind if I don't see it in the theater, but at the same time, if I'm gonna see it in the theater, nobody in this house is gonna go watch it with me, so. We might have to have a conversation offline about this. Just saying. We might have to go see this thing.
Yeah. All right. So there's Bad Boys 4, and once again, how the fuck is this getting made? But the answer is money, of course. He is also confirmed to be writing a script for National Treasure 3, because we need another National Treasure movie, like we needed a second one, like we needed a first one.
The first one, at least, is an interesting idea. Right? There's something hidden in the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how we get to 3. Like, there's something hidden in the...
Yeah, it's Nicolas Cage doing all the internet memes where, like, you fold dollar bills and go, look, there's a message.
Yeah.
Trump 2020. What? Shit. It's just him guesting on our podcast talking about things you thought you knew. That weren't I don't know. Jeez. No.
All right, so that's all I got this week. You guys got anything else you want to talk about?
No, that was fucking depressing. Thanks.
I should start on those, not end on them.
Yeah. We're learning as we go, people. No, that was good. It was a good episode. I got nothing. I'm really looking forward to Milan. Like I said, a few other things in here. We'll probably jump on. Oh shit. What's the face? Birds of Prey. That they're cranking out those friggin'
For they're really not
on a high note, because I kind of like.
There was not a lot of advertising. We talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago about not a lot of advertising, or at least maybe very specific in very specific places. It was all over football this weekend.
Yeah, they're really pushing it. Yeah. And Margie Robbo is really like she's keying into this Harley Quinn role. Like, just every time I see her on the screen, I'm like, yeah, she kind of got it nailed. Like while I was really irritated that they jumped into so much backing her, which I mean, I liked her and I love her in the role, and I'll watch her do nothing. But I thought, like, you're backing the wrong horse. You're supposed to try to do your thing, and whatever. It's our issues with DC. All that aside, the more I watch these trailers, the more I'm like, it's starting to grow on me. I'm like, I want to watch this movie now. This is like little things, like dumb shit. Like she'll say something silly. I'm like, yeah, she's in there. And like there's that one part where it looks like she's like getting ready to shoot somebody with a rocket launcher. And do you see? It's like a Nerf dart. She hits the dude with like a Nerf dart.
Right.
like I mean, it's a hard Nerf dart. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, like if Noah shoots you with like one of his rival guns, you're like, motherfucker. But like, yeah, she hits him in the chest with like this giant fucking like dart. It's fucking stupid. So I was like, damn, that's like right out of the comics.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, okay. I got like that. I think it was like that moment that I was like, shit, I might be in on this one. So yeah, it looks good. I forget when that's coming out.
February 7th. So
there
it's
you go.
2 weeks away or something. Yeah.
Well, all right. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Wow, I got it out of there.
Yeah.
Margie Rabot. All right, there you go. That's a better note to end on. So everybody go check out Birds of Prey. Let us know, I guess, if you saw the UFC fights and what you thought, because that was a random tangent. And who you like in the Super Bowl coming up?
Yeah.
Chiefs or 49ers?
Let us know if you've ever met Mr. T.
Yeah, there you go. And if you hugged him outside of a gay club.
It's not a gay club. It was the Pulse Memorial in front of Dr. Phillips Center.
You're close enough. Look, for my jokes, that's close enough. All right, I think that's about all we got. Hit us up at whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks@gmail.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all that happy shit. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Mr. T.
God damn you. Good night, Mr. Baracus there.